You might say that the story of the vanishing Arabian princess came straight out of a fairy tale. But then again, you might say that the disappearance and reappearance of Princess Sheikha Latifa was more bizarre than anything a storyteller could have come up with. Just to recap, Princess Latifa is a member of Dubai's royal family, though not, it would seem, a happy one. She apparently tried to leave the country once before, only to be stopped at the border and, she says, imprisoned and tortured. Then earlier this year she set off again, at first overland and then taking to the sea. But the yacht she was in was then intercepted off the coast of India by a combined team of Indian and Emirati forces. They promptly took her back to Dubai. Lest anyone doubt why she'd set off, the princess recorded a video testimony beforehand which she wanted to be released in the event that she didn't make it.
All my father cares about is his reputation. He will kill people to protect his own reputation. He only cares about himself and his ego. So this video could save my life. And if you are watching this video, it's not such a good thing. Either I'm dead or I'm in a very, very, very bad situation.
Well, despite this first-hand testimony, despite the fact that the princess hasn't been seen in public ever since, Dubai's royal family have continued to insist that she's doing just fine, and certainly has not been kidnapped by her own relatives. And now, to prove the point, they've issued 3 photographs of Princess Latifa, and she is pictured meeting the veteran human rights campaigner Mary Robinson. This Robinson is a former president of Ireland and former UN High Commissioner for Human Rights. Speaking on the BBC's Today programme this morning, Mary Robinson suggested the princess was mentally unwell.
Latifa is vulnerable, she's troubled. She made a video that she now regrets. I had lunch with her. She's a very likeable young woman, but clearly needs the medical care that she's receiving.
I mean, do you think you were able to have a frank conversation with her, given the circumstances in which you met her, where she's with her family?
I was able to assess the situation. She wasn't with her wider family. She was with Princess Haya and some of Princess Haya's younger family.
Princess Haya, who's married to her father.
Yes, I was very aware of how troubled she appeared to be.
Well, Mary Robinson's now been widely criticised for her comments, in some cases by people normally on her side. Ken Roth from the campaign group Human Rights Watch suggested she hadn't spent long enough with the princess to really know about her mental state. As for being troubled, he said he would be troubled too if he tried to escape and was kidnapped. Criticism has also come from David Haigh, a British businessman and human rights lawyer who was himself arrested in the United Arab Emirates and held for nearly 2 years, accused of fraud. He now speaks for the organisation Detained in Dubai and told me he's convinced she is being held against her will.
I think, judging by what she told us had happened to her before, that she's been held in very poor circumstances. Now, previously she told us she had been jailed, abused, tortured, starved and drugged up.
So what do you make of Mary Robinson's claim that the princess is being looked after by her family and receiving the care that she needs?
Mary Robinson has a vast amount of respect due to her for what she's done in the past in terms of human rights, and that's why we wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. But Mrs. Robinson didn't contact any of the 5 others on the boat whose human rights were also abused, who were also abducted. Didn't contact the lawyer or us who are representing them. Didn't contact Amnesty, Human Rights Watch or the UN Working Group.
But what she's done, she spent time with Princess Latifa, who she described as a nice woman but a troubled person, who is receiving psychiatric care which she suggested the princess needed. And you could say that she doesn't need to speak to anyone else to judge the veracity of that claim about the princess herself.
Well, she spent 2 hours with a young lady who'd spent nearly 2 decades trying to get away from that family. And not just once, but twice, whose sister also did the same in England. And to just give you an idea, Human Rights Watch spent 4 months looking into this with us. Amnesty International, 6 months looking at all the evidence. I have 8 years of emails from Latifa planning this.
Planning her escape, you mean?
Planning her escape. So 2 hours on an afternoon with Mary Robinson and her friends in the UAE royal family doesn't really add up to the 2 decades of evidence of trying to escape a family which they so are very scared of.
Mary Robinson is a veteran human rights campaigner, much loved in Ireland by people across the political spectrum, with huge respect for the human rights work that she's done since she was president. Why would she become part of some kind of PR stunt from the United Arab Emirates royal family?
Well, that's the question, and one can only assume that she, like many others, including the press, had been lied to. One would assume that she has been, that she's
But it
been
wouldn't be the
somehow...
first time. She's a human rights campaigner. She would be used to people telling her lies and being in a position to challenge them.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing that we don't understand, and that's why at the beginning we were shocked and surprised. And that shock and surprise is turning to more sadness now as to what has actually happened, and that's why we've reached out to her. And so I think this is a developing story that you're not going to see the end of for a long time. And I think Mrs. Robinson may well regret what she said.
The authorities in the United Arab Emirates say this is simple. This is a private family matter which is now being politically manipulated. Specifically, they suggest that Qatar, their regional rival, might be exploiting the plight of a woman who's suffering from illness and needs looking after, without the glare of the media and without the glare of campaigners from around the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, every time someone criticises them, they attack them. And they say that they're a friend of Qatar. In my case, apparently I'm a Qatari spy, which is comedy. I'm sitting now talking to you from a cottage in West Cornwall. So I'm certainly not anything to do with Qatar. And, you know, at the end of the day, this isn't about anything political or otherwise. What we're seeing with Latifa and Mary Robinson is a desperate attempt by the UAE, no matter what the cost, to quickly cover this up. Because obviously what they've done to Latifa and probably countless others is now exposing the fact that it is not a safe country.
David Haigh, a human rights lawyer from the organisation detained in Dubai.